Hi, everybody. Good evening. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Adriana Barros, therapist of the Table for Accelerated Prosperity. And this is the session that I'll be doing tonight for everyone. And I actually chose procrastination as a theme for tonight. Procrastination is a very tricky one because you start getting in the mood of not doing stuff because you just start pushing it back for some reason. You try and avoid every emotion associated with a certain task. Usually anything that can trigger your anxiety, trigger fear, trigger fear of perfectionism, and bring memories, most likely, towards things that you had to accomplish in the past that really was an obstacle for you, and where you were criticized, where people pointed fingers at you, or some activity that brings boredom to you, anything that will trigger a negative emotion inside of you can cause you to procrastinate. And when you procrastinate, you tend to not focus. Good evening. Thanks for joining. When you don't focus, you can't perform the task fully. And the tendency is to keep skipping it and do a little bit now, a little bit later, and just you lack the motivation to go through the whole task. So you can't just push it forward to whenever. Something that has to be done in a day or a couple of days can take you a week, can take you even longer to be completed. And this is all because of these emotions that connect you to a past trauma. So procrastination is connected to trauma. Whatever it is that you had to deal with when you were a kid, within the first 7 years of age, it could have been something related to school, related to criticism, or maybe you were called dumb, or when you were performing, trying to do a homework, or you asked for your parents for help, or even when you were at school, maybe you were called dumb by a teacher or your classmates, or whatever the association you had in a certain period of time in your life, most likely in your first 7 years of age, made you store those emotions inside of you. So anytime that you need to perform today as an adult, you push it back, because in your mind, your subconscious mind is like, if I go ahead and perform such a task, what is the consequence? What are the consequences? What am I being called? What am I being called by anybody? Am I gonna be pointed fingers at? Am I gonna perform my best? Am I gonna fail? Am I gonna be called dumb? Whatever it is, the association for you can implicate the fact that you might not perform at all, or just push it forward. And this takes you in a very deep, vicious cycle, and it's hard to get out of, right? So when you procrastinate, and it takes you years, and things can even get worse as you get older, and you just develop, that the tendency of actually, let's get a very simple example. Waking up in the morning, having to do stuff before you go to work, right? Maybe you have your routine, you have your tasks that you have to perform. And another sign that you're procrastinating is like you start doing 10 things at the same time, but you don't complete one. You keep going around in circles and start doing 1 and 2 and 3, and then you go back and maybe you finish everything, maybe you don't. But that's a subconscious response. You just go that way instead of taking a task and facing it head on. Right? So today, what I'm proposing is a session of the Table for Accelerated Prosperity, which is one of the therapies that I work with for trauma release. And so I usually do trauma release and healing, and I use any of the tables that I work with, which are radionic tables, and I also use body talk. So today I am going to use the table for accelerated prosperity. But you might be thinking, why are you using the table for accelerated prosperity if you're working with procrastination, right? Why aren't you using something else? Because this tool is not only for abundance and prosperity. However, if you procrastinate, if I am induced to use this tool, chances are, or most likely, and I know it is, procrastination is affecting your prosperity. Procrastination is affecting how you deal with money, bringing in money, things that you could have done already, you should have done, but if you don't do it, you're stopping money from coming in somehow. So whatever it is for you, this table is going to break the cycle of having you procrastinate and stop that flow of money from coming in. Let's say another example could be if you delay doing your taxes, and if you know that there is a chance that you might receive some money, and you keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, so you're delaying money from coming in. So whatever it is for you, okay? And I'm going to show you what this table looks like. So for those who don't know, radionic table are tools that are used to clear obstacles from somebody's field. Sorry. There are tools that are designed to release those obstacles from somebody's field, but also to materialize, to bring in what it is that you need. So it not only manifests in the case of this one, but it aligns all your energy bodies. So this one specifically works on your mental body, on your emotional body, on your physical body, and spiritual body. So around those bodies specifically, there's a lot of beliefs associated with those, either from this lifetime or past lifetimes. So the fact that you do not manifest whatever it is, even to the procrastination part of it, is because there are beliefs associated with it and their trauma is associated with it. And so this table clears those obstacles, those beliefs, and also the emotions associated with the procrastination, but also brings in whatever it is that needs you, which is necessary for you to start manifesting fast, or to break free from the procrastination process and start producing, being productive, more assertive towards whatever you have to do. And it strengthens your energy fields. It strengthens your personal energy bodies, as well as aligns your chakras, strengthens all your chakras so you can manifest. As you know, in order for you to manifest anything, you have to have your root chakra free from any obstacle and have to strengthen, so there's more energy and more grounding towards it. So people who have difficulty manifesting anything, there's an imbalance, they have an imbalance in this chakra, as well as your solar plexus. If you have difficulty bringing in things for you, is because you lack the energy, the self power in order to go and look for things or fight for things. And this is very much connected to procrastination. So if you're not a fighter, if you don't go after things, if you really start having second thoughts and put it always on the back burner, it's because you're lacking that motivation from within. So with this table, all this comes in place, so you can start moving forward. So this is what the table looks like. So the mental level, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical. This is the physical body, you, and this is the activation of the Taurus field, which is the bringing in of the energy of the connection with the outside. So everything is connected. The inside is connected with the outside. So is that exchange of energy, so you can bring in what you need from the outside. And here is where I measure the frequency of the group. So the frequency can go anywhere from 0 to 100. And here is where we're going to do the portal, open the portal of blessings in order for blessings to come in for you regarding anything, right? Today, everything is going to be going around the procrastination theme, and not only procrastination, but other things can start working for you better once you receive this table, right? Any things on any level for you can start opening up, can start being more productive. So if you want to stick to the whole session, I would suggest do it, because then you receive the full benefit of it. If you stay for a minute or two and it's not for you, that's fine. But if you want to receive the benefits, you have to watch it entirely. Okie doke. Make sure that there's no distraction around you. Concentrate. You can just lie down, sit, whatever you want to do. But make sure you're not playing with the phone or watching TV at the same time. Just be present so you can receive. So be on receiving mode. Okay? So I'm going to put the theme on the table. That's what we do when we deal with radionic tables. I use a pendulum in order to identify the imbalances that we need to work with. And I have a clear quartz one. And I use a bunch of crystals for manifestation, which in this case is citrine. I have a bunch of citrine crystals here. I have clear quartz as well, and I have one amethyst. But so citrine is connected to abundance. So that's why we use it here. As you saw, the color of the table is all yellow, it's gold. So gold for abundance, okay? During the process here, I'll be saying some commands. And these commands are to really connect to the divine energy. So I'll be evoking the God through this saying. And this has nothing to do with religion, but it has to do with the power of manifestation. So we have to go to the source. Everything you want to manifest is directly connected to the source. If you're not connected to the source, you don't manifest. And you can call the source whatever you want. It can be God as well, okay? So, because he's the creator. And this has nothing to do with religion. And also I use another command to clear negative energies that can be present while we are doing the session. And these two commands are in Hebrew because that's the way the table was designed. And those are commands that have enough power to clear any negativity that can be stopping your abundance. Okay, those are ancient commands. Okie doke. So I'm going to open the session. So I follow my guidance here, and whatever I say is just, these are tools that are necessary in order for me to clear the obstacles and bring in the manifestation, okay? I ask in this moment that the high energies are present so we can open the session of the Table for Accelerated Prosperity for procrastination for this group. Also blessing all its practitioners, with me included. Open, open, open. I am the connection with the divine presence of light, Adriana. I am the connection with the divine presence of light, the collective. All right, so I'm going to see how much the energy is at what number we're at. So if you've never received a session like this, expect it to be low. That's not a big deal. That's just normal. What is this, the energy vibrational frequency for the collective? It's at 0. So from 0 to 100, it's at 0 right now. So let's do the mental level. Let me just place my crystals here. Okay. So what is the first tool that I have to work with in order to clear blockages from the mental level of the collective for procrastination? Mental locks. Mental locks is when you lock a thought in your mind, right? And as if you didn't even want anybody to see what you're thinking or know what you're thinking, or as if it was a top secret kind of thing. So you lock that thought and there's no energy, there's no flow of energy, and it's just stagnant there. So this is really not provoking, that's not the word, but this is connected to bringing on procrastination. That's what I wanted to say. What is the next blockage we have to release from the mental level, from the collective? Very similar. Mental cages. So mental cages is about the same, which is really having that thought in your head and having you that frame of mind, you know, that stagnant frame of mind, not accepting anything new kind of thing. Hold on a second. Mental. And another thing that instigates as well, you know, when you're, let's say regarding finances, for example, you know, when you're doing your math, like your monthly math, like to see if your income is going to match your expenses through the month, and you get your calculator, you keep calculating everything. So those are mental locks. So you are constantly in that loop. So we're going to release that. What is the next obstacle, blockage that we need to release from the mental level of the collective to heal procrastination? Memories. So memories will take you back to your childhood years, or even before you were born, of things that you heard, of things that were said around you, and you started picking up, most likely from your parents. So if you lock those memories inside of you, you're always going back to the past, right? Because you keep remembering them. That's what we call active memory. However, if you keep going back to the past, you don't manifest anything. You don't even get rid of what you don't want to, because you keep always going back. You have to be present. In order for you to move forward and release, you have to be present where you are and not in the past. So you have to stop, keep going back and forth, doing, you know, that movement. That's not healthy. What is the next tool that we need to use, next blockage to be removed from the mental level for the collective? So this is between two of them here. Financial predictions. It's really, like I mentioned, the example of knowing if your income of the month is gonna match your expenses, for example, right? So it's always trying to figure it out in your head before the day comes. So that keeps you in that loop. And the last one of the mental level, what do we have to release here to stop procrastination? Financial abuse. Financial abuse, you can abuse yourself financially, but somebody else could have abused you financially. People who borrowed money from you, people who still owe you money. So these people keep you under abuse, right? If they're still in your radar, if they haven't, closed and paid you back or whatever, so that keeps you in the procrastination loop. So, and it's funny because, like I said, the procrastination, why is this tool the one that's to be used? Because the procrastination for this group is affecting their finances. So I'm gonna do, let me do one at a time, so it doesn't matter. So let's clear the mental. So there's the command. Creator of all there is, I ask to be canceled, transmuted, and transformed. The mental cages, remembrances, financial predictions, mental locks, and financial abuse from the mental level of the collective to release procrastination. Cancel now, transmute now, transform now. It is done, it is done, it is done. You can do this with me if you want to potentialize, but you don't really have to, because I do it for all of us. Place your hand on your head so that we activate and clear all the obstacles from the mental level. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabayot. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabayot. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabayot. Which means holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. Yod Hei Vav Hei, Yod Hei Vav Hei, Yod Hei Vav Hei, which is the name of God. So we are evoking his name so all the negativity, all the negative energies can be released and taken to the light. Now we're going to do the emotional body. So there's more than 60 emotions here that are affecting procrastination and causing procrastination and affecting finances. What is the first one for the collective? Sufficiency, impotency, and sadness. So sufficiency, it's only having the sufficient for whatever you do. Impotency is feeling impotent towards your finances. And sadness is what it causes you because you feel stuck, you feel imprisoned, you can't move forward. So we're releasing that. What is the next group of emotions that we need to release here from the heart, from the emotional level for the collective in order for procrastination to be eliminated? What's causing procrastination? Injustice, separation, and ingratitude. So whatever this means for you, right? Maybe you feel injustice. Maybe there was a separation in the past, right? Which could have been parents, of you and the parents themselves, whatever that means for you, whatever that separation is. And ingratitude, maybe the reference that you had growing up, your parents, they were not grateful towards what they had, or maybe you were not grateful towards what you have, right? So the more grace you give, the more you receive. The more grateful you are for whatever you have, the more comes back to you. And people say, oh, I don't have nothing. Why do I need to be grateful? because you have to recognize the minimum that you have. You have to be grateful for the minimum so you can have the maximum. So it is really a journey. You have to be grateful for everything, because a lot of people don't have your minimum, right? And for them, that would be a lot. So it's just a practice, because everything that any new habit we have to develop, we have to keep practicing at least 3 months. We have to do it so we can start creating new neural pathways in the brain, so that becomes a habit. And that's how long it takes for something that is new introduced into your practice to become a habit. All right. What other group of emotions we need to release for the collective in order for procrastination to be released? Depression, incapacity, and necessity. So the depression state, most likely what you guys feel, what you have at the moment, and that's also reason why you procrastinate. And this depression, of course, is connected to a past trauma somehow. And incapacity, that's the example I was giving in the beginning. Maybe you were called incapable. Maybe you find that you're not capable to perform a task, and that's why you just push it aside, so you don't tackle it because you think you can't do it. So, and you're afraid of actually making mistakes or being judged, whatever the case. And necessity, right? Having to do something out of necessity. You know you have it, you know you have to do it, but you still don't do it, right? All right, so we have all the tools from the emotional body. I'm going to clear those. Creator of all there is, I ask to be canceled, transmuted, and transformed. Injustice, separation, and gratitude. Depression, incapacity, necessity. Sufficiency, impotency, and sadness from the emotional body of the collective regarding procrastination, to clear procrastination. So if you want to join me, hand on your heart. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth. Yud Hei Vav Hei, Yud Hei Vav Hei, Yud Hei Vav Hei. Now we're going to do the release of emotions, of blockages, not emotions, from your physical body, which could be as deep as cellular, DNA level, and it could be from past lives, could be anything. But let's see what's stuck here. So what do we need to clear from the physical body of the collective in order to release procrastination? Okay, we need to do the reprogramming of DNA. So this procrastination, okay, somebody's alarm is off, I'm sorry. So in order for this procrastination to go, this is deep rooted. This is part of your DNA already. So this programming of procrastination is already rooted as deep as your DNA level. So whatever your cells need to release this habit, this pattern, so you can reinvent your cells again. Okay, so that's what we're doing. What is the next blockage that needs to be released from the physical body of the collective to release procrastination? Toxic communication. So this toxic communication could be something that you lived when you were a kid, when you were a baby. So maybe you had this toxic communication between your parents. You heard that toxic communication. Maybe they had toxic communication towards you. Maybe you have toxic communication within yourself, with yourself. Maybe you talk toxically to yourself. Maybe you criticize yourself too much. Maybe you talk in a negative way to yourself. So that needs to stop. that needs to be cut off, set free. Okay, so it is about the positive. It is about breaking the pattern of having those habits, so you can change your DNA. Because you know that everything that we say, especially about ourselves, it changes our genetics. Everything that goes in our environment changes our genetics, which is part of the epigenetics. So the more positivity you put in your words towards yourself, towards whatever you do, towards praising yourself or making a compliment, whatever, will bring positive results, and will elevate your self-esteem as well. Because the more negativity you put into your words towards yourself, the smaller you feel. So the more incapable of achieving a result you'll feel. So it's just one thing connected to the other. So let's do this one. Creator of all there is, I ask to be canceled, transmuted, and transformed from the collective spiritual body, to release procrastination, toxic communication, and DNA reprogramming. Cancel now, transmute now, transform now. It is done, it is done, it is done. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth. Yud He Vav He, Yud He Vav He, Yud He Vav He. All right. Now we're going to do the spiritual body and see what's keeping you stuck towards procrastination there. What's the first tool that needs to be activated and then released from the spiritual body, from the collective, in order to release procrastination? Underdeveloped beings. So that could be negative energies that really are in your field, are in your presence, and that influence your thoughts, influence your behaviors, your actions. And it's really important to keep your vibration elevated, to really break patterns of, I don't know, your routine at home, but things, the density in your environment, and try and keep your environment as clean as possible, as clear as possible, and vibrate high. So listen to good music, to relaxing music, things that can elevate, or do mantras or meditate, things that will keep your vibration high at all times. Because the lower the vibration goes, the more you will attract density from other beings that resonate with your vibration. And this is how it goes. So the more positive you are, the more the happier you are, the more positive energy you'll be surrounding yourself with. So you change your thoughts, you change your feelings, you change your words, you change your behavior, you change your energy. Next, what is the next obstacle we need to remove from the spiritual body so the collective can let go of procrastination? Energetic drainage. Energetic drainage is when there's a negative person or a negative entity that is sucking your energy, which has to do exactly with the underdeveloped beings. So these beings, when in your presence, in your environment, start sucking your energy, because that's what they feed themselves off of. And it's all about the vibration. It's all about your complaining, it's everything that comes out of your mouth, the way you feel, the way you wake up in the morning, the complaining, nothing works for me, pains and aches, and whatever it is that you used to doing, but that's negative, needs to be removed in order for you to attract the positive. So there's no secret here, right? People don't understand that. They think that's all it is, but it's not. So again, one feeds off of the other. People might think that it's entities that are attracted to us because they find targets, but it's not actually. We attract them through our energy. So it's really it's waves. It's all waves. And if you're vibrating at a high wave, you're gonna be connecting with the ones that resonate at high dense and high levels. But if you're vibrating low, that wave is gonna be really just attracting. It's the ones that vibrate on that level. Is like turn on a radio, for example, right? If you want to tune into a radio station, if you change the dial, you can only tune in to that station. You're not going to tune into all stations at the same time because you're picking up that frequency. So it's the same thing. So the higher you vibrate, the more elevated, more enlightened beings you're going to attract to your field. Okay? All right, so let's clear those obstacles from the spiritual body. Creator of all there is, I ask to be canceled, transmuted, and transformed. Energy drainage and underdeveloped beings from the spiritual body of the collective that is causing procrastination. Cancel now, transmute now, transform now. It is done, it is done, it is done. Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth, Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth, Kodosh, 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 Adonai Tsabaoth. Yud He Vav He, Yud He Vav He, Yud He Vav He. Now we're going to activate some universal laws that will help to manifest the end of this procrastination, meaning they're universal laws that we connect with depending on the energy level that we are in. So whatever we need to manifest what we want, we have to activate certain universal laws so we can bring in what we need. As soon as I find my laws here and my command, here they are. All right, so let's see which laws we need to activate. What's the first universal law that needs to be activated in order to let go of procrastination for the collective? Law of circulation. So basically, it's really what the name says. Nothing is stagnant in the universe. Everything is constantly circulating. Everything is constantly moving. So basically, if you get attached to something, you're not going to manifest anything. So the more attached you are to something or to whatever, a habit, something, an object, or whatever, a material, any material thing, the more attached you are to certain things, the less, the least probable it is that you will manifest something else, because there's no abundance when you're attached, right? So if you let go, if you give less importance to your belongings, for example, the more of the new you're going to bring in. So that's what this law of circulation says, that we need to detach in order for things to circulate and come back. So they go and come back. It's like money. Whenever you pay for whatever you're buying, a service, goods, you are not letting your money go. You're not giving it, you're not losing money. You're exchanging it for what you're getting back. So that's the law of circulation. And a lot of people think that they're losing money because they paid so much money for something. They find it so expensive. But what are you getting back? What are you getting in return? Right? So, and if you get things for free, unless it's a present, right? But if you're asking for free stuff all the time, that is like the typical example of scarcity, right? The more you bargain, the more scarce messages you're sending out to the universe. So more of that you're going to have. All right. The next law that we need to activate to release procrastination. Law of receiving. So activating this law is really about expansion, right? So it's expanding your energy field in order for you to receive from everybody, right? A lot of people, they limit who they want to receive from, or this is bad, receiving from that person is bad, that's a bad client, or that's a bad, I don't know, let's say, just a random example, somebody's a criminal, okay, and they want to have a session with me. Why will I not do a session on that person? You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. So if you say that you don't want to receive money from that person, you don't want to buy at that store, you don't want to, if you limit yourself, you're really putting obstacles to have more come to you. So there's no, this is a scarcity basically, right? So no judgment. That's what I'm trying to say. Be open to receive from wherever it comes. So money is money. Doesn't matter who's giving you the money, right? So let's activate the laws. I activate the law of circulation and the law of receiving in order to release procrastination from the collective. All right, those are active. So now is my favorite part of the session, which is the activation of the portal of blessings that I mentioned to you in the beginning. This is a very powerful activation. You see why. All right. I activate the portal of financial blessings. Activate and potentialize extra money. Activate and potentialize new sources of income. Activate and potentialize money in large quantities. Activate and potentialize financial miracles. Activate and potentialize magic money. Activate and potentialize codes of universal prosperity. Activate and potentialize the surging of wealth. Activate and potentialize possibilities with abundance of money. Activate and potentialize the update of a new financial reality. Activate and potentialize the increase of wages and income. Activate and potentialize financial blessings. Activate and potentialize the anchoring of the energy of the endless money. Activate and potentialize the dematerialization of poverty, scarcity, lack, and non-consciousness of money. I activate the restoration of the golden magnetic bodies of prosperity, wealth, abundance, and abundance of money, as well as profit and money profit. Activate, activate, activate. I ask that the inferior and superior bodies of the collective to be totally activated in order to receive the financial blessings coming from the creator of all there is. All right. So now I'm going to measure your frequency and see where you guys are at, because you were at 0 when we started. Remember that. What is the vibrational frequency of the collective in order to let go of procrastination? Guys, it's at 100. That's great. So from 0 to 100, 180 change. That's perfect. Now we're just going to say the last command to close the session. Creator of all there is, I ask that all chakras, bodies, and dimensions of the collective that is connected to the session of healing procrastination be totally aligned to the divine consciousness. So it is under the light. All right, this is it. How are you guys feeling? You guys okay? Anyways, I don't know if you were feeling any tense before, if you were worried about anything, but I hope this helps you release that feeling of procrastination, that not doing things, of actually leaving everything for tomorrow or for never. And so you can start being more proactive and start manifesting more things in your life, because this table, this procrastination is affecting your abundance, okay, somehow. So whatever it is for you, they need to get going and detach from this procrastination so you can start manifesting fast. And this is what this table does. It's called Table for Accelerated Prosperity for a reason, because it not only releases the blockages, but it manifests at the same time that it releases. So it is really about letting go and bringing in whatever is necessary for your growth, for your evolution, and whatever you need at this time. And I do also individual sessions for this table or group sessions. So if it's a group session, if you guys decide on a theme, and it's possible to be done as well. But if it's something on a personal level, this table not only works for abundance of money, but it works for abundance of health. It works for relationships. It works for problems. If you have any problems with the court system, and that is something is stuck, it's not moving forward. If you are trying to sell or buy a property as well and things are not moving, if you have a house on the market forever, nobody wants it, this table is also for that. We need to most likely clear energies from the property that are not letting the property be sold or bought. So there's another table that I use for that as well, which can be the angel healing. It's just a matter of me testing and with the pendulum and asking the table which tool is the most appropriate for each individual. Okay, and I've been doing these lives pretty much every day this week, and which is new for me, but I will be usually just switching it up between one modality and another, and coming up with themes. If somebody has suggestions of themes that they would like to have me work on as well, send me a DM, and transform therapies, and I'll be glad to consider your request. And that's it. Nothing is necessary to be done from now on. If it's still not released for you, if you still feel that procrastination is still part of your reality, it's probably because you need to work on something else on a deeper level. Then reach out, and if you'd like my help, I'll be glad to help you out. Okie doke. Thanks for joining me. Follow me if you still don't, if you haven't yet, I am on Instagram. I'm also on YouTube under therapist of, I changed my name. It's under therapist. Anyways, I'll let you know that now it's not coming to mind. But look me up as Transform Therapies and trauma release. That's what it is. Trauma release and healing therapist. That's what I'm under on YouTube. Okie doke. And so follow me to know when I'm on again, because I usually don't tell people when I'm coming on. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon again. Thanks for joining me. Have a good night. Bye-bye.